Well, it's a pretty somber feeling here at Turf Moor right now, as already relegated Burnley have to take on Manchester United today. And I think Burnley's objective for the rest of the season is just to enjoy it, play as well as they can. They already have been relegated, at least mathematically by the looks of it. They've had a pretty wretched season by all accounts. They were the kind of weakest teams coming up for the previous season. It was to probably be expected. The Premier League is always a completely different kettle of fish. Joy for the visitors is the stat today. Manchester United have been one of the more consistently good away teams this season, which has been very surprising. But I think it's just the way Jose Mourinho has done it. He's been sensational, really, in his first season. Well, for Burnley today, Tom Heaton will start in goal with Zlatan, Michael Keane, Ben Mee and Stephen Ward. It's Gunnarsson with Deontay as well. Sam Vokes, who scored against Manchester United, I believe, earlier in the season, makes the bench today. Manchester United's squad is all surprising, really. Romero starts to go with Darmian Jones, Rojo and Wilfred Jackson. It's Blind, Herrera, Lingard, Memphis and Paul Pogba. Angel Correa starts up front. A lot of big names missing the team today. Jose playing a weaker side than normal. And normally you're not allowed to do that. But I guess Jose can settle for that sort of scenario. Well, Anthony Taylor will referee this match. And I think to bring more to that, what's a weakened squad for Manchester United? It's Manchester United, so by all accounts, it really shouldn't matter if Manchester United's squad looks weaker than normal. It's Manchester United. It's a really kind of ridiculous rule, to be fair. You know, you are the manager of the team. You are allowed to pick whatever team you want. And Jose doesn't really want a lot of his bigger names playing this game because it means a lot in terms of the top of the table, but it is against a team that have really, sadly, not really posed much of a threat in terms of the Premier League. I mean, like we said, it's a totally different kettle of fish coming through from the Championship into the Premier League. It's a totally different ball game. So Burnley were expected to struggle. His career, but time is up at the end of the first half. Job done probably for Manchester United. Although, to be fair, they probably should be leading. But I think this game has actually been deprived of a lot of chances. Burnley have had one. Manchester United have probably had two clear-cut chances. One saved by Heaton, one missed by Pogba. It's been a rather quiet game, to be honest. Burnley 0, Manchester United 0. Welcome to the second half here at Turf Moor. And it's been a pretty quiet game, to be honest. Manchester United Burnley currently 0-0. An update from the Etihad at half-time. Manchester City scored a second goal against West Brom. And they're 2-0 up now. Manchester United City, though, of course, nowhere near a threat for the title this season as Paul Pogba puts it across off Jesse Lingard. And Manchester United take the lead. Right on the start for the kickoff. Jesse Lingard, a superb cross. And Paul Pogba, that's much better than the chance he had at the end of the first half. That's a stunning strike. Tom Heaton, no chance with that. What a great goal by Manchester United that is. Turf Moor is silent. You can hear a pin drop. And like we said at the top of the show, Manchester United by far better the away team in the league. But more importantly, it's been all round for Manchester United that it's just been superb. Burnley 0, Manchester United 1. Like we said, no such thing as a weakened squad when your team is Manchester United. They have the lead here. And I personally think he's more than worth that 4-year extension to his contract. As we will have a Manchester United free kick. Israel De Monte will go off for Jem Hedrick. Burnley substitution. Sean Dyche is still trying here. We pull Pogba with this free kick then. And we know what he can do for them. Oh, scuffed it to that. Wow. That's bizarre from Pogba. What happened there? No spin on that at all. I wonder if the ground had something to do with that. That's a bizarre free kick from Pogba. That's the worst free kick that has been struck by Manchester United this season. Don't forget they still have Memphis on the pitch. So I'm surprised he didn't take them, to be honest. I think the problem with Luke Shaw is he was on such a good roll before his leg break last season. Pogba has put it in, the game is over. And, well, Paul Pogba's done it all today, isn't he? Including the famous dab. And look at this ball. Sensational. No one under the back for Burnley, and Paul Pogba is not going to miss those all game long, is he? Stunning strike, and a pretty comical moment by Tom Heaton there. It's rather unfortunate for him. I'm not sure what happened there, but Paul Pogba with his 13th goal in the league. Has he paid back that £89 million? You bet he has. Paul Pogba has been sensational this afternoon. Burnley 0, Manchester United 2. The game is all but over now with 4 minutes to play. And that is the end of the game. And Manchester United with a rather easy win, to be honest. The form book told today it was top against bottom. And it showed, really. And Burnley's miserable season goes on, to be honest. Paul Pogba absolutely sensational all afternoon, despite his rather scuffed free kick at one point. But £89 million, he certainly paid it back, hasn't he? Jesse Lingard also gets a man of the match honourable mention from me. He was sensational in the second half, especially as well. Burnley 0, Paul Pogba 2. Manchester United with a rather easy win today, and their cruise towards their fight, I should say, towards a 21st League title. We've said it a few times during the second half of the season. Manchester United are looking like champions. Burnley 0, United 2. In the other game today, Manchester City beat West Brom by a further goal, but West Brom pulled one back, ending the game 3-1 to City. So, with 34 games played, we have 4 games left, and the table now looks like this. Manchester United up by 6 ahead of Arsenal and Spurs. Crystal Palace a further point behind. The table might go down to the wire, but if Manchester United do keep performing, they could probably have it wrapped up in a couple of games' time, actually. The London clubs need to get their heels on now. Palace in 4th and look to be staying there, actually, as they have a 9-point lead over West Ham. Crystal Palace an sensational year. Chelsea and Liverpool only 6th and 7th this season so far. The champions stay in 10th. Manchester City now move up to 14th. The relegation zone is looking all but confirmed at this point, especially in West Brom and Burnley's case. Burnley, of course, already relegated. Hull City, Middlesbrough, Sunderland, Manchester City, Watford. It could all still come down to that, but Everton are falling behind. Tonight's game against Manchester United and Swansea City, not mathematically, but theoretically could decide the title tonight. Manchester United just need 4 points with their remaining 4 games. If they win here tonight, they'll go 9 points clear of Arsenal at the top, meaning they could theoretically win the title tonight. They are 6 points clear as of right now. A win here would guarantee them almost the title. They will be 9 points clear with 9 to game. Arsenal are 6 behind. They would go 9 behind. And Manchester United's superior goal difference only emphatically told by that goal difference 4 of 71 goals. Mathematically, it would still be possible, but only on goal difference, which Manchester United have a far superior number. Tonight, from Jose Mourinho, he pretty much plays with almost the same squad that played against Swansea City, with Burnley with a few changes. Semedo comes in for Darmian, who makes the bench. Joe Riley comes in for Borthwick Jackson. Henwood comes in as well, and he captains the side, as does Fosu-Mensah. Mata comes in for Jesse Lingard, who started against Burnley. So for Swansea City, Nolan Develt starts in goal with Ranjal, Andervorm, Fernandes and Kingsley, as Britton, Hussein, Dyer, Montero and Thur up front. Rain Routledge, Ohi make the bench, as does Ki Sung-yeon. Here we go with Jonathan Moss as the referee in a game that could decide the destination of the Premier League title, with one kick of the ball into the back of the Swansea City net. So here's the story. Manchester United 6 points clear at the top with a superior goal difference. If they win tonight, they will go 9 points clear with 9 to gain for the remaining 3 games. Manchester United in those remaining 3 games have Arsenal and Spurs, and I believe Crystal Palace, which is an interesting story considering they're the 3 teams chasing them down at the moment. Crystal Palace have pretty much solidified position in 4th place. They could actually confirm that tonight as well, or later in the week. So Manchester United will have to face Real Ave after this match in the Europa League semi-final first leg. They will go to Arsenal, and I believe it's at the Emirates Stadium, I believe, and they will have a 9-point lead. Now, 9 points means Arsenal will not beat Manchester United on virtue of points, and only a goal difference will decide the league title. Manchester United have a far superior goal difference to the rest of the table, including Arsenal. Now, to guarantee the title, they can either win tonight and draw against Arsenal, draw against here tonight and beat Arsenal. That would guarantee it, or they can draw both games, and obviously it would go down to the final day. But if they win here tonight, they will have one hand on the title. It will be mathematically impossible in terms of points to Arsenal to catch them up. Now, Manchester United could win tonight, maybe lose against Arsenal by a far superior goal difference. Manchester United would have to have a total goal collapse if they win tonight. If they win tonight, Manchester United's goal difference will have to be severely cut down in the remaining 3 matches for Arsenal to have any chance of gaining their league title for the first time in over 10 seasons now. But basically, win tonight and they've got one hand on it, and a draw against Arsenal would clinch it. They go further, the free kick. They still have to win here first, mind you. If they lose tonight, it could all change again, with Manchester United having 2 London clubs and Crystal Palace to face in the remaining 3 games. But, you know, Arsenal have really done well to keep pace. Don't forget, Arsenal sold Mesut Ozil to Barcelona in the transfer window. That's a foul by, oh my word, that is a foul. Semedo has gone down in the box. Penalty to Manchester United, and that is going to be a booking as well. That is something Fernandes just didn't need to do. That was such a poor decision from Fernandes. Nelson Semedo further forward here. There's no telling what he would have done. But that's a very clumsy challenge by Fernandes. And now Aaron Henwood has the chance to give Manchester United the lead. And he scores! Aaron Henwood has scored a penalty for the third time this season, I think it is. Aaron Henwood has put one hand on the Premier League trophy in the most important penalty of the season. Aaron Henwood, who has had such poor luck for the penalty spot all season long, scores when it matters. The big game DNA from Aaron Henwood, still, after 10 years now, is still there. He's given United a crucial lead. 5th goal of the league this season. Aaron Henwood may have just decided the Premier League title race. United 1, Swansea City 0. Crucial for Manchester United. Absolutely crucial. A very poor decision by Fernandes. No need to do that. And Aaron Henwood doesn't miss when it's the most crucial penalty of the season. Manchester United's penalty shootout record has been abysmal. Aaron Henwood has missed all but 2, and that was the 2nd penalty score of the season. Don't forget, he scored against Manchester City in a penalty as well. And United had an abysmal penalty shootout record when they came up against Stoke in the FA Cup quarter-finals, where they didn't score once, and Stoke City scored all 3, and through they went. But Aaron Henwood has stepped up when it matters, and he is now giving Manchester United a crucial lead. Correa He's taken on the mantra of bringing Manchester United back to the top, and his team have responded magnificently as Angel Correa belted in the goal. What a stunning goal by Correa, and it's all but over. Manchester United are all but assuring the Premier League title. Brilliant play by Angel Correa, who's probably fighting for his Manchester United career in a way. Obviously the ever-ending rumours of Griezmann coming to Manchester United, and if that does happen, Antonio Griezmann could be coming to a Premier League champion team. Angel Correa may just have sold it, but there's another half to play. But Manchester United do not let this kind of advantage slip. They certainly haven't this season very much. They've struggled a couple of times. They've given up leads against Sunderland and Stoke City, but in Manchester United, when it counts, they can enter that other gear, and they've certainly done that. Aaron Hepwood and Angel Correa may have just put one hand on the 21st title for Manchester United. Aaron Hepwood and Angel Correa make it Manchester United 2, Swansea 0, and Arsenal are hoping for a miracle. Manchester United, as we've said so many times before in the second half of the season, they look comfortable, confident, they look like champions. United 2, Swansea 0. Aaron always seems to light up. Oh, and that could be a penalty for Swansea. The referee Jonathan Moss has waved it away. It wouldn't really do much in terms of the Premier League table at the moment, as United would have a 2-goal lead, but it could change things slightly. And Jonathan Moss just made a big call there. And Correa waits and waits, and Aaron Hepwood catches up as he does. Aaron Hepwood trying to get into the box. Look at the fight he's got. And he's lost the ball. Well, this could mean a lot in terms of the relegation zone, as Swansea will face Everton. Now, I think if Swansea win that match, Everton could be automatically relegated. Burnley have already gone down, and it looks like I think it's Swansea that could be going with them actually. Their way this season for Manchester United, it's almost... Oh! And a goal out of nothing. Who's that? And hold the phone, because Leroy Fer has scored for Swansea. And I did not expect that to happen. Sergio Romero is left flying. Now, it doesn't do much at the moment. The second goal can change it all over again. And already, a tinge of nervousness has probably come round Old Trafford. Well, Aaron Hepwood does have a poor moment here. He's not exactly the reason for the goal, but he did give it to the Swansea man. Great pass and a great strike here from Fer. That's a fantastic strike. Romero's never getting to that. He's very unlucky, to be fair. Well, Aaron Hepwood, after scoring the penalty, now gives Swansea a goal. Really, it's his fault. He gave the ball away. And I think that's only going to fire him up, to be fair. He's always very quick to atone for errors. He doesn't let it get him down. And now, given the ball, and he'll do something. It may have just fired Aaron Hepwood up, and you don't want that, because like we said, something's on the line. Aaron Hepwood is almost unstoppable. He's had the mentality of a fighter all his life, and now he's doing it again here. He's made a mistake, but immediately, as you can see, Aaron Hepwood is he's committed a foul. I don't think he meant to do that. He had his eyes on the ball, Aaron Hepwood. You can tell that all the time. He has his eye on the ball all the time, never in the intent to hurt anybody. And he's got the ball back again, and like we said, now Aaron Hepwood is all fired up. He can be expressive at times. He can voice his displeasure over things, but all round nice guy. Except when he stands on the football pitch, possibly. Here's Correa. It's a great pass from Pogba. And here come United and Correa. Pogba scored 2 against Burnley. He was absolutely sensational against Burnley, actually. Aaron Hepwood loses the ball again. Oh man, just can't catch a break. They're smothering him. You have to do that. And its lack of balance can be a bit of a weakness at times. It's not one he really was given himself. He was pretty much given that, but look at the heart, look at the passion from Aaron Hibbert. He doesn't like that whatsoever. He gets the ball back, and he finds Pogba, and keeps running. Aaron Hibbert in the box. The passion, the heart of Aaron Hibbert is second to none. Weirdly enough, he mentioned that in his pre-match notes in the Manchester United kind of magazine this morning. Oh, off the bar for Dyer. I don't think he was ever going in, but I thought he'd been trying. It's a great header from Dyer, to be fair. He's had Riley all over him. And the ball's looping, and Romero probably would have got there. But oh my goodness, what a game. What a tense, nervy few minutes. I'm not even on the pitch. I'm in the commentary box, and I'm feeling nervous. It's Correa. Pogba. Oh, Pogba's missed it. Martial recovers for him. Oh, and Fosu-Mensah tried to play it back to Pogba. The referee pulls for offside, I think. It's offside against Mensah. Not by much, though. It's Riley. Game over here at Old Trafford. And that is pretty much it in terms of the title race. Manchester United cannot be caught on points now. It's all down to what happens at the Emirates next week after the Europa League tie. A point would do it against Arsenal. Manchester United have looked like champions all season long, despite the scare from the goal from Fur, which was fantastically struck after Aaron Hibbert unfortunately gave the ball away. But like we said, he came back and did his team justice. Manchester United have one hand on the title. A point would do it against Arsenal. It almost looks surefire. Swansea City 1, or Manchester United 2 rather. Swansea City 1. Only a point is left for United now. In the other game that was today, it was also a game for a Manchester club, Middlesbrough, losing to a resurgent City by 2-0. Unfortunately for City, it's far too little too late. But it is a show of potential for City for next season at least. So let's have a look at the Premier League table as we reach the final 3 games of the season. Ironically for Manchester United, I am correct that they have Arsenal, Spurs and Crystal Palace in those 3 games. They are 9, actually it's not 9, is it? Arsenal on 68, Manchester United on 74. 9, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Actually, there's 6 points clear, huh? I must have miscounted. So, obviously, Arsenal was to play later that week. So, yes, it's 6 points then. So, that means a point would still do it for Manchester United. Actually, probably no, it wouldn't. A win would certainly do it for United. They'd be 9 points clear. A point wouldn't do it, but would convert them on the goal difference. So actually, the situation we've been talking about all evening is actually going to be the game at Arsenal. A point would do it. A point would do it in virtue of goal difference. A win would certainly do it for Manchester United. So we bigged up this game for almost no reason. Obviously, it was a miscalculation on my part. I do apologise for that. Spurs, a further 4 points back. They're certainly out of it with 9 points to gain. They're 10 behind. So it's between Manchester United and Arsenal for the Premier League title this season. Stoke City, Bournemouth, Leicester City completing the top 10. Leicester have been pretty much there all season. Manchester City, the two have all but confirmed their safety. They are now 43 points clear of Hull City, Everton and West Brom. Now, the relegation zone, Burnley are almost certainly down. Everton have a game in hand over Hull City. They could still get out. Looks like with nine points left, I would say City are all but safe along with Swansea as well. Swansea, despite their loss, is anyone from 46, 44. Leicester down could still go down mathematically, but almost impossible. The relegation zone is definitely going to be between definitely between the likes of Sunderland down, maybe. If Manchester City hit their resurgent form and keep it going, they'll be safe in a couple more games. Burnley also already going down. And there's still a chance for West Brom and Everton to get out of the zone as well. It's very tight at the bottom, to be fair. But yes, we've picked up this game for almost no reason, because Manchester United still have a 6-point lead over Arsenal. So a bit of a change to the situation now. Manchester United have Rio Ave in a Europa League kind of mismatch, a match that Manchester United is expected to win, so we'll gloss over that. It's the Premier League title tie against Arsenal that is the most important then. So the situation we've picked up all night is actually going to be with the Arsenal game. Like we said, a point would do it in virtue of Manchester United's far superior goal difference, which isn't that far superior, it's only 9. But Manchester United have been scoring goals for fun all season, so you pretty much expect them to not have a monumental collapse. So a point would do it in virtue of having one hand on the title, maybe. A win would certainly do it. It's all down to what happens at the, I think it's the Emirates. Let's have a look. I think it's going to be the Emirates. I do believe they played at Old Trafford. And it is going to be a tie for the title then at the Emirates Stadium. If Arsenal win, then it'll probably come down to the final game of the season, with Manchester United still to face Spurs and Crystal Palace. Manchester United Arsenal are hanging by a thread. Manchester United win, and they are champions for sure. A draw would almost do it. They would need a point for their remaining games at Spurs and Palace. But lose, and Arsenal could be right back in it. It's still so tight, unbelievably. So, it all comes down to the Emirates then. Can Manchester United clinch the title with a win over Arsene Wenger's men? Don't forget that Lucas Perez actually saved a point for Arsenal back at Old Trafford. So it's all still to play for. But first, we have the Rio Ave Europa League semi-final for Manchester United to think about.